Hi
Um,
mate.
Hello, how you
Hello. Yeah,
doing?
I'm fine. I'm great. How are you?
I'm all right, yeah. I'm gonna make you slightly bigger.
Oh,
There you go.
larger than life.
I don't think you could be larger than life, James. You're too big for that shit, man. What's that photo in the background? I'm gonna start with the questions. Who's that?
That is T-Berg. He's the drummer in a band called Baba Naga. But it's the t-shirt I'm wearing actually. When he sent me this t-shirt,
Oh, nice.
they put that lovely black and white photograph of him inside.
Do you know what I find that is you say German, yeah?
Huh?
Do you say German?
No,
Oh, where are they
from
from?
Sheffield.
Oh, do you know Germans make the most conscientious gifts? I get my friend my friends in a band called Hope from Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
They always send they sent me the we toured with them in Germany, and they send little postcards with beautiful photos on and write nice long, really small
Oh.
handwriting letters on them and stuff. It's really cool.
I
And
remember
I
actually.
find
Oh,
the
sorry.
Germans have good detail with their hospitality when we play there. Do you find that?
I was literally just about to say. I remember when we played in Molotov in Hamburg. We played there.
Yeah, amazing.
That was one of the best riders we've ever received, and yeah, the attention to detail of the gig and again, we got there and projected on the walls. They have music videos of bands that are coming to play there, and when they're playing there, literally constantly projected onto the walls. So even if you're just drinking in there, they're like, "What's this band?" It's like, "Oh, they're playing here next week." That's a fucking obvious but really great idea.
Mm.
Um, Steve got arrested last time we were there, though. But
I thought you said Steve got arrested last night. I was like,
no, last time we were in Hamburg.
why? What did he? Can you tell me what he did, or is that?
We were there for Reeperbahn Festival, and
Oh, sick! You played.
yeah, it was like
I'd
the
love to do that.
first gig in Germany. Really super excited, but it's because it's so far away. We broke the journey up in Amsterdam the night before to to break up the 19-hour journey or whatever. So we got pretty wavy in Amsterdam. Driving into the city, there's loads of police around. We were kind of lost trying to find the venue, and we'd found a venue, but we had to turn around to come back to it. And as we did a U-turn, cops pulled us over, and Steve just generally has a kind of a shake on his hands normally. So they looked at him and they were like, they looked at him, they came to the back seat to me, and they were like, "You see your friend?" It's like, "He is very stoned." And we were like, "Oh." It's like, "No, we're not." It's like, "We smoked weed last night, but we're not stoned now." And saying that, obviously he was like, "Yeah, get out." And he was like, "Who else is stoned in here?" We're like, "No, I smoked last night." I was like, "Oh, why did I say I smoked last night?" I was like, "No, you can't drive." So the policeman had to get in the car, turn around, drive us to the venue, take Steve to the police station. And then finally, it was about 20 minutes we were supposed to be playing. We'd set everything up on stage. I'd set all Steve's stuff up. And we got a phone call from Steve, and he was like, they want €1,000 to let me go in cash. And I was like, "What is happening?" It's like, are we in a film or something? And then, yeah, literally they drove him to the venue. We gave him €1,000 in cash.
Jeez.
And we were like, "Can we have some kind of receipt for this transaction?" They wrote in pencil on a business card, something in German, and handed it to me. And that was it. We got Steve back. We played the gig. It was a great gig, but
I love it. Corrupt as fuck.
sorry,
Now,
yes.
I got to read this. Sorry, because I was supposed to be more prepared than this, but unfortunately, I was late to this. I'm willing to admit I'm not normally late for stuff, so I apologise to you and the audience. But
Good
it
job, not
says
the Rose
no
Garden in
shows.
Downing Street.
Oh, eh?
Not the Rose Garden in Downing Street.
What's
It's a Dominic Cummings joke. Sorry.
you're quoting Dominic Cummings? You're brave. That's a Sleaford Mods quote. At the start of each chat, after you've introduced yourselves,
I'm James from Crows.
he's James from Crows. We are asking the host to remind viewers about the various venue fundraising campaigns people can donate to, as well as a general fund we've set up to share amongst all venues. So obviously, I'd like to keep that in instead of editing out. Obviously, we're doing this because Independent Venue Week are a scheme that raises money for independent venues and also awareness to the fragility of our situation as artists, and more importantly, as venues. There's very rarely any subsidies, nor is there any kind of projection of what goes on. Basically, small venues around the country are fucked because of like the rising rent prices, and also noise pollution complaints from horrible cunts, and selfish pricks. And uber capitalism is killing grassroots philosophy, art and music. So it would be good to think about your local and small venues, wherever you're from, as independent businesses, often family run, people that want to keep up one of the most beautiful institutions there is, which is live music and all the people that help run it. So it's a privilege to be here and to interview you, James, but also to try and raise any awareness. So hashtag Independent Venue Week, take 5. If you go onto Independent Venue Week and Music Venue Trust as well, there's lots of stuff you can look into in ways of helping your local venues. Right, now I've done that.
I could have said it better myself.
Great, and that wasn't through necessity. That's because I find that we are in a time, I mean, I've got questions that I've been given that people have posted that I think you've seen, but it'd be nice to start off with something a bit more interesting. So how do you feel, what would you like to share with people about what, like, you know, what, for instance, where's your favorite small independent venue, why, and where do you think that lands in terms of your career and other people's and the community around you?
Well, I think the nicest thing about you asking me to do this, it just got me, I was like, I'll do a bit of research, I'll like a bit of memory bank research. And I kind of like made a list of all these venues that I love and all the venues that we've played and toured over the years. And I've got quite a good memory for gigs anyway that we play and places we go. and I always find when I speak to people at the merch table afterwards, they'll say, "Oh, I saw you at this place at this time," and I always have the strangest like picture memories of stuff that happened at that gig, or the way I was feeling, or whatever had been happening, like, because it's sensory, like those, especially those really small places, like my sensory memory transports me back to whenever I'm thinking about those places. And that's my favorite thing about music, and live music especially, is it fucking burns itself into your memory, and then it will always, not always good stuff, but it will always remind you of the good times, bad times, or whatever times you were going through at those gigs. I think perfect example of that is the 100 Club in London. I've got I've got also like a real collection of different things about that venue for a number of different things. But one, it was like the first gig that we ever, first like big gig we ever sold out. It was like 350 people, like to us that was huge. It's the first time we met, weirdly, outside at a Mets gig, and it was only later on that like remembered that interaction. Mm-hmm. But then it's also the first time I ever saw Silver Tongue's vinyl in live flesh because we came to see you play there, and you just got a copy and Mark had bought a copy down.
Yeah.
That was the first time I held our album in our hands in the green room there. And it's also, I remember just, I can't remember the first gig I saw there, but I remember it was, I was pretty new to London, and I was like, I'm in Oxford Street, and there's this fucking hugely historical venue right in the middle, like depths of like fucking central London. And it's all those memories just fucking colored with that red color of the walls that is so memorable, so striking to my brain that I love it. That was a bit of a tangent, but
no, that's a beautiful tangent. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? 100 Club's a good example. Like, the community around small venues is irreplaceable, because it's not, you know, anywhere you can see a live band anywhere. It's not why Molotov is memorable, or why the Louisiana and Bristol's memorable, or the 100 Club's memorable. It's the people that run it, and how there's an aura about these things. There's an aura that's kept, and there's a family that's kept, and a collection of ideas and memories that's kept and housed in these small places. Like, it is irreplaceable, and it's like where new ideas are born. It's where I came up, you know, I came up to you saying how much I loved you guys, because you played at the Louisiana about a week before that, that show. Were you supporting?
I was trying to think which one it is. It was either, I think it was Cosmonauts.
No, I've never
band
seen
from
Cosmonauts.
Was it a band from LA called Cosmonauts? Was it a band called Charlie Boy and the Voyeurs? No, it wouldn't have been then.
No, you didn't play. You didn't play. It was an Ice Age gig, or Mets. It was
like
like
100 Club, sorry.
Yeah, 100 Club.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the Louisiana. No, yeah, it was a Mets gig.
Yeah, right. So I can't remember who you were supporting. And to be honest, whoever you were supporting at the Louisiana didn't matter, because you blew my mind, and I was just like, who the fuck is this band? You know. So yeah, it was really nice. Weird bumping into you at a gig in London like a week later, so I could get to it, because I was busy working at the Louis, you know. But yeah, it's just it's like the Adelphi Hull is another good example. It's not just some guy who owns a building who's putting music on to make money by selling alcohol. That's not how it works. No. It's like, it's a labor of love, and it's kept up by the will of the people, because it's important to communities, especially the Adelphi, especially the Louisiana. It's a family-run business. And more importantly, like when I worked at the Louis, I was at one of my worst points in life. I was really struggling, and the family that run the place treated me like one of their own, and I survived it because of that, because of the support I received at that workplace, and being able to be introduced to bands like yourself and be given new ideas every night. You know, you just don't get that.
The wonderful thing about that is most small venues are pubs, and like the public house in British history has always been a place where people meet in the community to either just share each other's company, or like number of things that. So small venues that are literally just pubs, it's that, but with the added thing of entertainment that keeps you there and gives you something else to talk about and grows you in that way as well. And again, you've just reminded me of I can't remember which time it was we played the Louisiana, but I remember playing there, and again, we don't smoke this much weed anymore, but it's when we smoked a lot. We smoked a lot of weed, and we were outside smoking weed, and the woman, I can't remember her name, the older lady, she came out and just told us off, because she was like, come on, this is my small business, just go down the road and smoke weed. We're like, yeah, to be fair, that's our bad, I'm really sorry. And we went down the road and she was fine, and then we had a carvery and it was really nice.
Giovanni's roast, man. I shouldn't say this on the internet really, because I shouldn't, but it's funny. Loads of people going, he did, like, you know, if you ask for all the meats, because Giovanni cooks it and then he serves it with maybe two other people, but he's always the one who cuts the meat. And if you ask for all the meats, he's like, oh, bloody hell. Every time, bloody hell, right, fine. And then gives you like an unfathomable amount of meat. It's like, no wonder you're annoyed, G. You don't have to give me 3 portions. You just give me like a third of a portion of each one. Bless him. He's Italian as fuck, like, but or Sicilian as fuck. But yeah.
That's the interesting about small venues and catering, especially on touring as well, because you remember, well, me personally, you remember how good the food is from wherever you played. If the food's really good, that's one thing that you always be like, and that's one thing when you talk to other bands about places you played, you're like, fuck, the food there was incredible. It's like the catering there was amazing. They looked after you so well.
What's your favorite catering?
What? Place or general food?
Oh no, we'll get onto that later. What's been the best like food at a venue?
The one that's jumping straight to my mind is, have you ever played Hebden Bridge? Yeah,
the Thai food.
Yeah, that just sprung to my mind when we were having that conversation about the cafe. I was like, fuck that. Yeah, that Thai food at Hebden Bridge was fucking great.
Yeah. They got original William Morris wallpaper.
Oh, really?
I told them and they looked at me like I was weird. Yeah, they got Strawberry Thief on the walls, which is beautiful.
Sick.
And a socialist. Yeah, Hebden Bridge is the hottest gig we've ever done.
Yeah. Even in November, it's fucking hot as fuck. Moving it.
Fucking wild. Yeah, it wasn't summer when we played. Actually, it might have been. Anyway, it was the hottest gig I've ever done.
There was snow outside when we played that. I was talking about this before to Sybil, that I remember we were driving in over, and you first see it like the town when you're driving in. You're like, have I just driven into a Harry Potter film? But then there was like a light settling of snow all over the buildings, and I was like, I think we've just gone through a wormhole into like a different age.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's like a model village. I think Yorkshire's my favourite place. People always, you say stuff like that at gigs, and people are like, he says it everywhere. Like, Yorkshire is the best. I just love it. I'd move there in a heartbeat if I didn't have a daughter in Bristol.
Yeah, I've always said that I love Yorkshire's like my favourite part of England because it's so similar to Wales.
Yeah.
It is like
the people are great as well.
Yeah, lovely people, amazing scenery, good booze, good boozers, good venues.
How's your drinking been
in lockdown?
In lockdown, yeah.
I mean, I was only drinking when we do like the Zoom quizzes with all our mates and everything, but now it's got hotter. It's like slipping to it gets to like 5 o'clock, and I'm like, oh, beer would be great right now.
It would be.
So I've been slipping a little bit, but I mean,
some say slipping, some just say you're being what's the word? Industrious with your drinking. It's hot. What are you gonna do?
Why not?
Yeah, it's interesting because obviously being sober, I'm just interested in how I would have reacted to this situation. Because I've got an empty here actually. I've got non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah. And
I'll drink like 3 a night. I've stopped. That was my last one last night because I'm getting fat.
Yeah.
But I think I've started getting emails and I've started looking at wine shops because I want to drink again, but I'm not gonna drink until I'm ready, which won't be for at least another 6 months, a year, maybe 2, whatever. But I really got into the diversity of wine and the culture of wine. Like natural and organic wines are obviously really cool, trying to be fashionable. But I started reading this thing about this guy in Switzerland that's the biodiversity of his vineyard is he like normally it's like one soil and like everything's really the eco verse of that vineyard is really policed, but he it's really dynamic and it's like he breeds butterflies there and it's this place in Switzerland, so it's all really crazy and makes really interesting grapes. I just found it really interesting. So I started looking into it. Then I was like, why am I doing this? I'm not drink. But yeah, so it's interesting. I think a lot of my mates are being sensible, and then you got the ones that are like, life's a weekend.
Yeah.
It's dangerous as fuck.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if we went in lockdown and all the pubs are open and we've had the fucking weather that we've had, like, it would be carnage. It would be like, because when the sun comes out anyway, British people go fucking tits. So combine that with like a crazy sunny May that we've had. Yes.
Yeah, Bristol seems to lose its mind, like
yeah,
when it's hot. It's just like any excuse, but that's why I love it.
That's it. Well, this topic has sparked another memory thing.
Yeah,
and it's the question I wanted to ask you.
You have a question for me?
I'm flipping it around. I'm reversing the tables. No, it's more a conversation, but stage fright, because this is something I was going to chat, like, because small venues thing again got me, like, I used to have I still kind of do, got incredibly bad stage fright about going on, and I used to combat that with drinking a lot before I went on to be like, yeah, I'm fucking fine now. It used to be like I drank like a bottle of white wine in the early days before I went on to get going.
Yeah.
Thankfully I'm fine now, and I can play like the sober gig. Still get really nervous, but don't have to have the booze anymore. But I just wonder what you thought of that thing.
Well, I was the same as you, man. Like, I used to drink loads before going on just because I was nervous. But then I found the first time I did a sober gig, it was like someone had turned the lights on, and like I was seeing in colour for the first time at a show, you know, like it was very lucid and beautiful and way more meaningful as a performer, you know, like everything meant something. And I started crying at shows, and that's just because I was hungover. No. And it was because, like, I could see everything and feel everything more. Alcohol for me was a huge part of my life because I needed to numb everything. Same as drugs. Like, it helped me function, so to speak. But what I was doing is not functioning, but just like my body was being driven around by alcohol, and like my brain and my soul and everything that I loved was just on standby for 10, 15 years. And really, the honesty in performing doesn't come when you're fucked, like, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not an honest way of doing it. For me, it's not a knock. People, like, some people drink and they just drink because they drink, and it's great. Like, Barry drinks occasionally, and he doesn't get wasted, and it's a healthy relationship with booze, but he doesn't need to numb himself. He's not trying to. So for me, I don't get nervous now, really, before shows, because it's me. I haven't got anything to hide. And it's not a performance, it's the music you perform. Like, I'm not a character. I don't have to worry about what I do. I don't think about what I do. It's all about the unthinking and being present. And you can't be present if you're fucked, but you also don't have to worry about it. I don't get nervous. And that's not because I'm honest and others aren't. I just think after losing my old dear and my daughter, I value the privilege that I have, and I also don't give a fuck about what people think anymore, because I know what bad feels like, and it's not being judged. It's the stuff I just mentioned, you know.
Yeah.
But that's not belittling anyone's stage fright, and obviously I completely understand why you get nervous. It's like, it's terrifying. You've got loads of people staring at you. But I'm a narcissist and I'm selfish, so it suits me fine.
I always find it worse in smaller venues. So no, we can play in front of a fucking massive room, and I'm like, this is great, because playing in a massive room on like a bigger stage, you're almost more sheltered because you can see I can see everyone perfectly well. I can hear myself really well, and kind of the rest of the room, it eventually just blurs into nothing. But when you're in a smaller venue and they're fucking right here. That's when it's more scary, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
God, I remember we were playing, it was like a Hello DIY thing when they do this thing every January with like new bands.
Oh, yeah.
Playing the Old Blue Last.
Yeah.
And I remember for some reason Jack Daniels had sent us a bottle of booze, like with like in a case with crows on it. Like, drank a huge amount of it. I remember being so drunk that our manager Cal had to grab me by the shoulders and slap me because I was really drunk. I was having a good time, but we were about to go on, and it was only when he slapped me that I was like, "Fuck!" I was like, "Am I actually that drunk?" And I had to really like snap out of it. I think that was a big turning point to be like, okay, I don't have to get this drunk to play a gig. Like, it's fucking stupid.
No.
But yeah, to get to that point would be like a fucking scene from a Motley Crue film.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely rely on the boys in the band and manager being like hard on me the next day. If I do something, like if I get drunk, they're like, "You're not good drunk. You know, you what? There's no point in you drinking before a show. Definitely after a show. I'm just a bit of an asshole." Yeah. Oh, it's good. You know, like it's just balance, isn't it? It's the same as everything.
So,
I'm just not good at balance at all. Right. I'll start with a question.
hit me.
Brett Baker on Instagram says, "What is your perfect Sunday?"
So you just have no conversation. It's definitely going to revolve around booze because it's being in the pub, having just had probably pretty hungover, having a fucking great roast, and then just drinking with your mates in the pub afterwards.
That's a beautiful Sunday.
Especially if it's sunny, like sunny May we've had.
Would you do board games if it was winter?
Winter board games, yeah.
Would you prefer a hot Sunday or a winter Sunday? You know,
So, yeah,
cozy pub vibes.
See, now you mentioned that because when it's hot, you can be like, hey, have a few, and then you want to go to the park, just be in the park. But when it's cold, you're like, I don't want to go outside, so let's just stay here until it closes.
Pub garden, of course.
Yeah.
I bet you there's some amazing pubs around your way in Wales, isn't there? Country pubs.
Yeah, there are some nice ones. I mean, my family live in it's like a 2,500 population town. And I remember growing up, there's like 13 pubs. So 2,000 people, 13 pubs. So it's like the per head of capita for pubs. But there are some really nice ones, really super old ones, all with like the original interiors still intact. But then, yeah, they can't stay open because it's not viable for 2,000 people to drink.
No, it's not fair, is it?
No.
I fucking, yeah, pubs. I think pubs are really important. I think it would be my sanctuary, sober or not. I just love sitting around a table with my mates.
Yeah.
Just chatting. Good jukebox or whatnot. Right. Well, that was an all right start. The answer was great. Question. I should have a look, really. What I should do is have a quick look and pick some really fucking shit ones. Tough ones, I mean, not rubbish. Vidges, THIJS on Twitter. Other than the UK, do you have a favourite audience or country to play in?
I'm going to piss off other countries we play in if I pick a favourite.
Just because one's the best doesn't mean everyone else is rubbish.
True. Netherlands, Holland, definitely.
Correct.
Yeah, just for every reason. The venues are great. The audiences are great. It was the first place we played in on the continent. Weed is legal. Fucking, I just start talking about weed.
You love weed.
I don't even love weed that much anymore.
Where's your Rasta hat? You got one of those like those netted things.
Big Che Guevara wall hanging.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Holland, because every time, like, the venues we played, Vera, Groningen,
It's my favourite venue.
absolutely amazing venue. For all those reasons, you can stay in there again. Fucking top thing for a favorite venue of mine. You can sleep in the venue because you've played. The van's safe. You're fucking right next to it. You don't have to go anywhere. You can literally go straight upstairs and go to bed if you want, or get as wasted as you want and then go to bed. 100% most important thing. Vera, you can do that because they've got those little beds upstairs.
And they've got a screen printing press there. Make their own posters there.
Yeah.
The thing about what would explain Vera in Groningen, I think is how you pronounce it, but I always try and pronounce it and everyone looks at me like I'm weird. Groningen. It's magic. So it's a co-op. It's in Holland. So a lot of the people are volunteers. I think everyone might be volunteers who work there.
Yeah.
The idea is that they get tickets to shows as payment, which you can imagine just wouldn't work in this country. I think it's such a beautiful scheme.
Yeah.
Which it allows the money to stay in the venue. They've got a screen printing press, so all their art is centralized in-house, which means there's a feel to it. There's a language there from the venue. It also creates a bit of excitement, like what's my Vera poster going to look like and things like that. And they have a tradition there where every year all the staff members vote for their favorite show of the year, and then the winner goes on the wall. So there's just names and the year all around the edge of the room. And then they have all behind backstage is the history of the place with everyone that's ever played there on posters dotted around. And it just feels like an institution. And again, it's like the perfect example of a community-led thing for the community, bringing the world to your town, which is what Glastonbury started as. The ethos that the Glastonbury people can't travel the world, so I'll bring the world to Glastonbury, and now look where it is.
Yeah, but I think that's why I chose Netherlands, because there are so many of those venues in that country, in every town, that run almost, it's like a model, and some of them have subsidies from the government to keep them going, which is incredibly important because that's why venues close, because they can't afford to stay open. So if they have support from the government as well as support from communities, that's the way venues stay open. There's a place called Echo in Utrecht, absolutely amazing venue. A venue called ACU, similar. In Eindhoven, there's a place called Stroomhuis, which is, I think Stroomhuis is my favorite venue, just because.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the part of town that used to be where the old Philips factories were, which got completely regenerated now. It's like skate park, venues, cafes. It's a really like hip, like really cool part of town. But this place is literally, again, you can sleep upstairs, smoke inside, got a screen printing press. The food is incredible. Like they just treat you like you're coming home from the war, like you've been welcomed back into the family.
Yeah.
And Stroomhuis was like the first place we experienced that, and we were just like, we sleep upstairs. They're like, where are you sleeping? I'm like, this is your bedroom. It's like above the stage. And I'm like, and they're like, this is a fridge full of beer. Dinner is at 8:00. Enjoy your show. And we're like, yes, I'm gonna have the fucking best show because you've just made that possible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they have the privilege of like-minded, hardworking, egalitarian type people that want to make it happen, and also a government that subsidizes it. So it would be easy to turn around to our country people and say, let's make it happen, but without any infrastructure and help from the government, it's never going to happen. And especially with tyrannical fucking landlords and, unfortunately, apathetic fans, it will never happen. But we can but try, James. Have you ever played in? Oh, now I've got to get it right, otherwise I'll sound like a prick. I think it might be Ghent. Capital Switzerland. It's that big old riding school that's now a squat, but it's not like, fashionable London style squat. It's like a squat that's been there for decades, and the police it's like an independent state. Police aren't allowed to go in. There's like safely.
Okay. Ghent is in Belgium. You're talking about
Baden? No,
it's in
See, I knew I'd get it wrong, and now I look like a prick.
No, because I'll just be right back. Fuck.
I'm terrible with geography. Oh, no, I'm not. I'm terrible with names.
Oh, God damn it. It's in Copenhagen. And it's called...
No, it's not.
Are you not?
It's definitely Switzerland. It's the capital of Switzerland.
Are we not...
Oh, I said
okay.
Switzerland. Fuck it. I'm really sorry. I don't know what the place is called, and it's really bad because it seems like I'm an ingrate, but I love it. It's one of my favorite places to play. But they got like 3 different venues within it. One small, one massive, one medium, obviously. But that's like residential, and it's like it's great. I feel bad that I don't know which.
Yeah, now I can't stop thinking of this place in Copenhagen because it's kind of it's very similar. So it's got like a skate park in it as well.
Is that the one that's named after a bug? Like a, what are those things called? Cockroach. Is it got really low ceilings and like a long, shallow stage?
Yes.
That's like a squat. Christiania. It's in
Christiania. Because I remember they say you have to say Christiania.
Christiania.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking of. Is that not what you were talking about?
No. We played there as well. That was cool. Super hot and intense, and like especially with someone like you, because it's like 5'8" ceiling.
We played there with Mets as well. That was fucking mad. Yeah.
Mets are a fucking beautiful bunch of human beings, aren't they?
Incredible. Love those motherfuckers.
What a wonderful band. Really, just it's a joy. We've been really lucky. I'm sure you have as well. Like, just lucky with the people we toured with.
Yeah, it's incredibly lucky.
Do you find
you got to tour with me?
we still pat ourselves on the back for that one to this day. Well, I mean, you guys, when we toured with you, seemed like a good touring band. As in, you enjoyed it. Do you miss it like a lot? Was it a huge part of your life?
Yeah.
What were your plans? We don't really want to go into too much to depress yourself, but it'd be interesting to know. Did you have lots of things planned tour-wise?
Well, this year was going to be interesting anyway because a huge amount of this year was relying on South by Southwest for us. So when we were going to go to South by Southwest, we were going to get an American label. We were going to get an American agent with the plan to then plan the rest of the year based off that. So then we could go to America at the end of the year with a new album released. So when that got cancelled, we were like we had a few festivals booked over the summer, but again, because we haven't released a new album, it wasn't anything. Nothing was set in stone. Nothing was completely booked. So could have been worse. Still not great. Like not going to America was obviously a big kick in the nuts, but
yeah, there
are more important things to worry about. So, and it's not going anywhere. It's still going to be there, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing. I mean, everyone's going to be starting from that point again.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, bands like Idols are very lucky in where we were at and where we're at now, and so it's not even, like, because we have a merch side of our business where we have people that are, know us and love us and willing to support us. We can sell merch and keep going that way. For a lot of bands, it's not the case, and it's just a black hole and just waiting to see what happens after it. So
yeah, we make a huge amount of our income from merch, but a lot of that is at shows. So like we sell like a fair bit online, like we'll do all right, but again, like the reason we sold so many albums and t-shirts last year was at shows, because that's the main place where people because they see us and they're like, fucking yes, I like this band, I want to buy something. That's what I do when I go see bands. It's like I'll go to the merch table like mid-set and be like, I want to buy something for this band because I love this band. So it's annoying, and we can do a lot of the online stuff, and we did a t-shirt run, just did the yellow t-shirt. That was something new.
Yeah, so it's sick.
And that did really well. So that's given us a bit to go on.
Do you find like that you guys have embraced the internet as a way of keeping connected with people, not just your mates? I mean, like as a band with your audience.
Yeah, it's been.
I was surprised how much we have.
Again, we were a bit slow off the mark, and there was a huge amount of that like live stuff going on, like the live streaming. So we were like, yeah, we can do all that. And I did one with John, which was nice. And then we were like, fuck it, let's just do a cover. So let's do like a cover of a pop song, do like a funny video where we're all just at home. And it came out much better than we thought it was going to come out. And considering we did it all like on GarageBand, I did like the vocals on my phone, and we just sent it to the guy who made our album essentially. So he made this fucking deformed little creature into an actual sounding really good song.
Do you want to let the people know what it was and where they can find it?
It was a cover of the Weeknd song called Blinding Lights, and it's on YouTube. Just search Crows Lockdown Blinding Lights. It will come up. And again, it was just like a funny idea.
A lot of aggressive pointing you do there, James.
Sorry.
It's scaring people. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's getting it in their memory, because now they won't.
Yeah.
And again, that came out just as like a silly idea, and so we're thinking we're going to cook up another one, see what we can do. It was
received well, James.
It was, yeah,
it's fucking sick.
Yeah, and I think because it's literally just us at home, and I think we're doing exactly what everyone else is doing, so I think people liked that for that reason.
What's the I keep saying sick. What word do you say a lot that you wish you could eradicate from your vocabulary?
Sick is definitely probably one of them. Dope. So dope probably too much for being a 31-year-old white male.
Well, you like the old jazz cigarettes, don't you, mate?
God damn it.
No, like I said it. I say it a lot, and I was DJing at some night, and this doctor guy, it's a boyfriend of this other guy, he just really criticised me for using the word. He was like, "Why are you saying that?" And I was like, "Why not? Little prick." And then I thought about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I should say it more often, because it winds up people that get wound up by bullshit, have way too much emotion on their hands and not enough fucking substance."
Yeah, true.
So yeah, sick. All right, TJ Keeney on Instagram.
Nice.
Was album number 2 written in a dark room again, or have you guys switched on a light bulb?
I love that. I love that when you, because we led a lot of our press off the last album with that, and it's like it was completely true. We recorded it all in the dark, in the pitch black. And again, I think we've kind of always done it. Because I remember the first EP, I did all the vocals in pitch black, and it does get you in a mood. But this album, we were kind of crafting it in the studio a lot more than like, because the first album we just went in, we were like, this is it, let's just record it. But this album we were kind of like making it more in the studio, which we've never done before. So we were like changing stuff here and there, being like, what about this? Changes to that, this should be like that. So we couldn't be in the dark because we couldn't see each other. But it was nice because it felt like we were actually making an album and like crafting an album in the studio, which I've never done before. And it was like a really fun experience. Quite a little bit more stressful because it was a bit more unknown, and like some of the days were like really tiring and really long. But I think it definitely shows in the album that it was like, yeah, it's a bit like more loose feeling and like not as regimented, but yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, did you find there was more or less pressure in that situation? Because obviously, for people that might not think about things like this, because obviously it's not going to be loads of musicians listening to this necessarily or watching this, it's like a lot of people write, well, there's infinite ways you can write, but how do you write now? How did you write the album that we're talking about now, album number 2? How did that come about? And what would be what would be your suggestion for people that want to start making music as a band? How would you say is a good way to start? Songs.
It's hard because we've always kind of written pretty much the same, in that someone will have an idea, like Steve will have a guitar line idea, and then we'll all be in the room and we'll jam, for lack of a better word, until we have a kind of rough song. Smokes loads of weed. And then I'll sing over the top. I'll be like just writing lyrics in the corner, kind of singing like in my head, or then come in, try something, come away if I don't like it. Record it, take it home, sit at home, listen to it, write more, add on to it, and then it kind of builds up into this final finished piece. It's a grinding way of doing it. It's not a very time efficient way of doing it, but that's the way we've always done it, and it's the way we've always come out. Like, there's never been one single songwriter, and like there's never been like, this is a song, everyone play along, because I don't know, it's difficult to do it, because I can't play guitar like fucking Steve plays guitar. He can't sing like I can sing. I definitely can't play drums or bass as well as Jit and Sam, or at all. So I don't know, advice to people writing is just, depends what kind of music you want to write, really. Again, when I'm writing softer, like my own solo acoustic stuff, I'll just sit there and write until I like what I've written, which is, I'm pretty critical of both Crows and my own stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that will get laid by the wayside and will never see the light of day. But you've got to write the shit to get the good. So write as much as you can and then edit, I think, is my best advice. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. That's good advice. I think that idea, especially if you're writing in the sense of a democratic way, like you do and Idols do as well, same way, is that you can't be sentimental about your ideas, because just because it's a good idea doesn't mean it's the right idea for your band. That's what individuality and creative language is about, is like, you know, it's about developing your own dialogue with the world, and it might not be the right time. Just fuck it off, and if it's really good, it will come back. It's
crafting your identity and who you want to be as an artist and a band and a performer. When Crows first started, all we did was we loved the Black Lips, and we loved like Dick Dale. We wanted to be like a surf garage rock band.
I can hear that in part, yeah.
And it was good. Like we made loads of songs like that, and it was pretty cool. But it wasn't anything like very new and like exciting that we were doing. Like the gigs were good, we were enjoying it. But then we took a trip to Wales, to this really secluded town in Wales, and got a studio for the weekend. And again, I'm sorry, but we smoked a lot of weed. we don't smoke this much weed anymore. We used to loads, not anymore.
Yeah, hey, it's whatever, man. You know?
And we wrote Silver Tongues. We pretty much only wrote one song the whole weekend, but writing Silver Tongues was like, this is what we want to sound like. This is our sound.
Yeah.
That then was a big turning point to be like, yeah, this is what we want to be. And that's when Crows really started for me. That's when we were like, yeah, this is what it should be.
Sick.
So it was like a whole weekend of writing music, and it came away with one song, but that one song was so important to what Crows became. It was kind of worth it.
Magic. I love it. It's an interesting thing, that turning point, where, because it's coming on from what you were saying before, really, is like, if you're all kind of having your own part in the language of Crows, like, suddenly it will all fall into place where that is what it is. That's what you are as a collective of ideas and a collective of languages. Suddenly Crows has its own dialect.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's great. Nice. Silver Tongues was it. The apex.
And it took us 5 years. And it took us 5 years to make an album, so it's fine.
better late than never, man. It's a fucking amazing album. Second album's incredible as well, by the way. I love it.
Thank you. Can't wait to have it out there.
Neither can I. All right. Saul Dog. Saul is in biblical, dog is in woof. On Instagram. What's your favorite Radiohead song?
Sam's going to hate me for this, but I don't like Radiohead, sadly.
Okay.
Sam is a huge Radiohead fan, but me not so much. I've just never, again, everyone's going to hate me. I just never really got it. And again, we saw him at Primavera, and I was just stood there like, why am I here? I don't know why. What do you think? Do you like Radiohead?
I think they're better than everything else, apart from maybe the Bad Seeds, Grinder Man.
Yeah, but I think that's what.
I think there's a group of bands. You don't have to like them. I don't suppose I can't expect you go around slagging them off. You appreciate how good they are.
Yeah, exactly. I don't hate them. I just have never got it.
I think they're in that group. They're in that group, you know. There's the Beatles, Radiohead, the OCs, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
See, I'm going to say I'm a bigger Beach Boys fan than I am a Beatles fan. People get really angry when I say that, but that's just me.
People that get angry about people's taste and opinions are so insecure. They're like little Rottweilers that have been castrated, but don't know why.
True.
Fuck them. They're stupid pricks.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's a beautiful thing. You have your Beatles. I've got my Radiohead. Some people have their Beatles. Some people have their... You don't have your Beatles. You have your...
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. I mean, my favourite Radiohead song is National Anthem or Reckoner. If you like Radiohead, that might mean something. But really, what's your favourite so-and-so song? Doesn't really mean much. What's your favourite Beach Boys song?
Well, my favourite Beach Boys is Don't Worry Baby. And it's funny because I remember at that same Primavera, Brian Wilson was playing, and we were to go see him, and it was like the sun was just going down, and he started playing Don't Worry Baby, and I had my sunglasses on. That's probably I was on a level anyway, and my girlfriend turned to me, and she just like a single tear like rolling down my cheek. And she's like, "You okay?" I was like, "I'm crying." Because I love that song so much, and I love it so much. She just grabbed my hand, took me like right to the front, and it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Amazing. I was at that same show, both Radiohead and Brian Wilson, and to me, I didn't get Brian Wilson. It looked like he was propped up on stage, being held by some sort of splint.
And isn't it like...
It doesn't look like a well man.
No,
I'm
he
not
really
sure
doesn't.
if he's being coerced into touring or whether he actually wants to do it. But I've never listened to Beach Boys. For me, I cried watching Radiohead. I was also on a level, and yeah, I mean, I adore Radiohead, as you probably adore Beach Boys. So each to their own.
Yeah.
I didn't pick these questions. Whilst I'm looking, I'm going to not be making eye contact with you or screen eye contact. So if you could, whilst I'm doing this, there's one more question. I'll read this. And then you can answer this whilst... I don't really want to listen to this either, because this sort of thing... What's your favourite Idol song?
That's tough, man. And especially, I don't know, if you get it when you tour with a band, and that's why I quite like you guys is you change your set quite often every night. Not a lot of bands do that. When you tour with other bands, you're like, they play the same set every night, and you're like, you know what's coming next, and you know songs that you wouldn't have known before, like the back of your hand or whatever. But you guys change everything up, which I loved. But favorite song, thing probably White Privilege.
I
Because
wasn't expecting that.
oh mate, that's one of those songs that you wish you'd written for me. And
That's a nice thing to say.
It's funny because driving, Steve is a fucking mad driver. He's so terrifying, and with Steve in the car, he drives like 90 mile an hour everywhere. And I can't remember what it was. It was touring. We were fucking rushing to get there. Steve's driving erratically, and he loves that song as well. And we put that song on, and you're driving like 90 mile an hour down a really wet fucking highway with you growling in your ear with that fucking song is so adrenaline inducing. No, I don't know. I love that song. I think that's definitely, yeah, one of my faves.
White Privilege. Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't like playing it for a while, and then I got back into it again. Silver Tongues is my favourite song of yours. Funny enough.
Important song.
I told you that before, and I said it was a boring choice because it's Silver Tongues. And it's cool. It's your apex song, apparently.
Yeah. So and again, we wrote Silver Tongues. Like, there's only one place to put Silver Tongues in a show, and it's at the beginning because again, weirdly, we tried it. Our last gig we played was that South by Southwest fundraiser gig, and we didn't open with it. We were like, let's not open with it. We've opened with that song for fucking years now. Let's not open with it. Let's open with a new song, which is a stupid idea. But
yeah,
we then just came back on and did it as an encore, which is fucking weird, really stupid. But when we were like really like first starting out, we were like, it's a great song because no one's ever in the venue when you start playing. And Silver Tongues, we were like, let's just play it, and we play the intro, and you can drag it on because like people like start filtering in when the band starts. Again, it's like that way of just playing something whilst everyone comes into the room.
Yeah.
So they don't miss anything really. And it's a great song to be like, fuck the starting. It's really like repetitive, boom, 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 fucking get everyone in the room. And then once everyone's in the room, it kicks into that fast bit and everyone's in there. So smart.
It's a genius move. And like also, you know, it's the start of a journey. It's a great start to the journey. I think I love it because it makes me feel how I should feel listening to it, because it's similar to my language in the way I love music. I just think it's very astute, simple in its, what's the word? The way it makes you feel is simple.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, right. Crows, this is Death Moans. Crows are underrated as fuck. Correct. Although underrated, maybe just underrepresented, because you're represented beautifully. People love you, just not heard enough. I'd say that's a more underrated. It's not like people listen and go, shit. I'm not going to ask you about COVID-19. It's enough of that shit in the world. We all are in the same boat, yada, yada. Do you make any forms of art? ? Painting? ? Montage? ? Curating? Do you curate?
I've ever been curating in lockdown.
Well,
I mean,
life, you know.
I'm not a great artist. I do enjoy making art. I enjoy drawing. I've actually been. My mum is an artist, and she has just like an at-home screen printing kit, like a little setup that she does. So I've been doing that a bit, which has been really fun. I fucking hang on, one sec. But it's like the kind of screen print where you have to scalpel out the art. like so there's no like light
Oh,
box or anything. It's fucking a real pain in the ass. But made this T-shirt
no way.
where it was because I'm a big Woody Guthrie fan. I
That's
wanted to
sick.
make like a bootleg Woody Guthrie T-shirt.
You're a bootlegger now.
Yeah.
I normally don't like bootleggers, but I like you.
One of my favorite things of your last tour was seeing Bobo and Lee go and buy a T-shirt off one of the blokes from outside.
Yeah. And it had a print on the front and the back, which was more than ours. So we were a bit like, is this better than our merch? It wasn't.
God, yeah.
For anyone watching, don't buy bootleg merch.
No,
It's like
I think
the
that's
estate
definitely
agents money instead of actually no one wants to give estate agents money. Just stop buying fucking bootleg merch, you bastards.
That's definitely a box to tick though, to know that you've made it at some point. When there's bootlegs outside your gig, you've reached a certain caliber.
Yeah, I hate the ones that are just ripping off the design that I've done. It's like you're giving a cunt, a thief, stolen my idea and just lazily printed it out themselves and make them. It's like it's half of our income.
They're the same as like scalpers. Like they're in the same league, really, and they're often fucking nasty people. But
yeah, they're never like, yeah, the guy.
You ever tried talking to a scalper? They're fucking horrible people.
They're just middlemen. It's like just fucking loan sharks and shit. Fuck
yeah.
But yeah, like it just seems weird that a fan wouldn't see that. But do you know what? Each to their own. Spend your money however you want.
I remember once when I was fucking really young, very young. I think I was seeing Slayer in Newport. I can't remember where in Newport. What's the big venue in Newport? It was big.
Big venue?
Yeah.
Is there one?
Newport Arena? Is that a venue? I can't remember.
Sounds right.
But I wanted this long sleeve bootleg Slayer t-shirt from outside because I was poor and young. And it was really busy. And I was like, yeah, I'll take a large long sleeve, blah, blah, blah. And I slipped a $5 into his hand and legged it, even though it was supposed to be like 15 quid. And I just fucking ran off and it's fine. So I got my own back.
Yeah, if you want to steal bootleg stuff, go ahead, kids.
Yeah, there you
go. Also, some bootleg stuff is sick. If it's not a rip-off of my design and it's like really bad,
if people want to make, there's a guy, I saw a guy at a gig wearing a Crows t-shirt. I was like, that's not a Crows t-shirt. Like, that's not an official Crows t-shirt. But he was quite a big fella. And I was like, it's definitely because we don't have his size and he wants to wear a Crows t-shirt. And I was like, that's completely fair enough. Make it whatever you want that way.
The DIY match is sick.
Yeah. We got a friend called Brian. He made his own Crows beanie, and I was like, "That's fucking great!" It's like we should make beanies.
All right. What band, in your opinion, has the best merch? Like, it's something that I always am fascinated by. I love merch.
Mets, man. Hayden's art is fucking incredible.
That is their language, isn't it? It's like a Mets design is a Mets design. It's sick.
Yeah, I love Mets art. I love your guys' stuff. I love our stuff because Elliot is amazing.
Yeah, Elliot's fucking great. Elliot Lane.
Elliot Lane.
Elliot Lane is the artist that does all the Crows work and also is a wonderful tattoo artist.
Yes, I think Dev's got quite a lot of stuff done by us.
Dev has got the worst collection of tattoos I've ever seen in my life. It's like he's got drunk and put a blindfold on and put loads of weird temporary tats on his body from someone who's designed them on acid, not in a good way.
Oh, Dev.
It's like he's covered himself in Pritt stick.
I sent Dev one of the screen prints I've done in lockdown. Actually, he asked for one, so I sent him one.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't put a card in it, so I think the postman just crumpled it through the letterbox.
Sick.
That was my fault. That was definitely my bad, not the postman's
Yeah,
fault.
it's your fault
working
that
very hard.
fucking postman and delivery man are not diligent in any fucking way, having no respect for other people's property. Yeah, it's definitely your fault, James. Jesus Christ. That's Thatcher, that is. Thatcher and the neoliberal, libertarian, fucking selfish bastards. Right. Okay. Only joking, kids. This is now just bullshit comments. Hold on. This is the internet, isn't it? Good thing this isn't live.
Venues. I'm trying to think.
Okay, this is a good one. This is a really good one.
Hit me.
Do you think it's harder today to have a concrete influence on people with strong messages in music? So do you feel like it's harder to kind of make an impact on people through your music, like philosophically or morally, or just your message, whether it's artistic or whatever, like your narrative? Do you find that, because there's so much noise going on?
Yeah, to cut through as a band is always the challenge, to remain relevant, to remain interesting, and to get to a level where you can be relevant and interesting is hard. And I think the visual aspect is a huge element of that. Like having a strong visual concept as a band is incredibly important. That's why I think Elliot with us has been so incredible, because it's instantly recognizable as Elliot's work and a Crows t-shirt or a Crows album or whatever. To have a message, I think that's interesting because you can kind of go two ways with it. You can be extremely vocal and extremely opinionated is the wrong word. Just have a strong opinion and that be your vocal on it. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think, I don't know, with our stuff, especially with my lyrics, they're always quite open to interpretation, because I know what they're about, but sometimes it's not obvious what they're about. I think a good example of that is we've got a song called Crawling, and that song is about Margaret Thatcher's state funeral. But I think if you didn't know that, you would have no idea that's what that song is about. And that's often a theme in my lyric writing anyway, that it's probably about something you don't think it's about.
Yeah.
But I kind of like that because it leaves the audience open to interpret and take from it whatever they want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's it. Is, you know, not everyone has to be as literal as some bands. You know what? Like, the most impactful writers for me.
But you do it so, like, that's why I love you, because you do it so well and with such passion that people fucking listen to you, and that's important, because there needs to be those bands. Because I don't have the confidence to do that as a performer or a singer. And like, again, I'm not a very chatty person. Like, the most you'll get, like, I feel like we're talking like one-on-one now. I keep forgetting that there's going to be hundreds of people watching this, but
thousands, hundreds of thousands,
hundreds of people, 20 people going to watch it. But again, when you come have a conversation with me at the merch stand, like, I want to have a conversation with you about and have a deep, like, one-on-one, not deep one-on-one, but that's when you'll actually get most out of me. It's like, I don't fucking speak on stage because, again, I don't know if it's stage fright, but I never have the confidence to come out and be like, say something really bold and really powerful on stage, even though I really want to, because I don't know, I always get nervous that I think I'm going to mess it up or something, or not, or it be misconstrued or anything. But the beautiful thing about you is your message is so powerful, and you ooze confidence, and so many words I want to say I can't think of right now. But it's just, I believe you when you speak, which is which is really important. And I think
Yeah.
you're very important for this generation of, in this time in history. Like it's really, it's important.
I think there's a balance there. Like I think a lot of people make assumptions about me that I watched an interview with Jason Williamson, Sleaford Mods recently, and he said something similar to me, which is, I don't want to be seen as the next Billy Bragg, or I'm not the next Billy Bragg or something. Just similar to what I said, and it was kind of misconstrued, obviously, when it was rewritten.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what I mean is I have a huge respect for Billy Bragg, but I want to be in it. I want to be a musician. I am a musician. I just happen to use the music and the platform as the band to express what I'm truly interested in, which is the welfare of the people I love and the people I don't, just as a balance. I just think there's a huge imbalance societally, and there's a class war going on ideologically and literally, where poor people are dying in our country because of deprivation. So it's a point of interest, and I say it with conviction because I believe it. But I'd say Billy Bragg would want to be known as a musician first and not a politician.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm fascinated by the music. I'm fascinated by your music. I believe you as much as I think you believe me. I see the conviction in your lyrics and your performance because it's believable, because you're being honest. And that comes out in how music is felt and projected from us. It's like, whether I'm talking about something, you're talking about something, it's just the palette and the way we say it is just slightly differently. Like Van Morrison's Astral Weeks paints a vivid picture. It just is allegorical and mythical and ethereal at points, but he fucking believed it, whether it was, I don't know, instantaneous or not. It's just like, there are different ways of doing it. No matter what, the guys, the believable ones are the ones that are loved, truly loved, not because they're a pop musician, but, you know, as in like manufactured, they're fashionably liked, not stylistically liked, you know, like,
yeah,
the greats are all loved because of their sincerity.
and and I guess your message is if something affects you. So if I have affected people, that's fucking great. And it's, what was the question? I can't remember.
Do you feel that you could have a concrete impact on people in the current state of overstimulus, we'll call it?
That's a good question. I don't know, it's hard, isn't it? Because
I can tell you do have a concrete impact on it, because like I said, like I came up to you in London after seeing you a week before, and I see hundreds of bands at my job at the Louis. Like, I would see bands all the time, and every now and again I'd be impacted by the nature of the show, because a live show is a human interaction, and you feel it. It's a physiological thing as well as a emotional thing. And your music and your presence as a band is impactful, so it does. But I guess it's how you feel you do that, and whether you do as an artist.
Yeah, I think I'm blurring the lines between being political or just being an artist, and there isn't any reason why those two things should be separated or should cross. It's, again, every artist is different. Every artist creates what they create to give to other people, essentially. So if that makes an impact on people, then I'm glad.
Good. Well, thank you very much. Dandy in the Underworld says fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Sup Sherbert says fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. Will there be new music from Crows this year?
Yes, it's the short answer.
Good. You don't want to share anymore, is that?
Yeah, because we literally had a Zoom meeting yesterday about plan of action. So it's
Sick.
still in the early days of planning, but yes is the answer.
Well, I look forward to it. Matt McClelland. Why do you think loud shouting music is so attractive to so many? Is it playing to something base and primitive in us? And can you two lads please do another joint Belfast show at some point? I sadly missed the last one. Well, Matt McClelland, we don't repeat our support acts, and nor should we, considering we should be supporting Crows next time.
That
So
show
that
was fucking really cool. That venue was amazing.
Yeah, what was that?
Belfast Music Hall.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's when we had to have a few nice pints of Guinness afterwards as well. That
was
fucking
great.
place is incredible. I love that venue.
Apparently, I said, because my Bowen's wife's family were at the back.
They are Auntie. Wait, we met his auntie. What was her auntie's name? His auntie's name?
Oh shit, Auntie Pauline.
Yes, Pauline.
Yeah. Yeah, she's great. She's a character.
Yeah.
But I said, the Kervicks are at the back. But apparently, in my accent, the way I said it at the time, I said, the Catholics are the back. And like, obviously, people that knew me were just like, what? Why the fuck would you say that? And it's like, and then afterwards, they were, why did you say the Catholics at the back? I was like, no, the Kervicks. Like, what a weird fucking thing. People must have thought I was such a cunt. So anyway, why do you think loud shouting music is so attractive to so many? I mean, similarly, it's kind of answered in his question. Is it playing to something base and primitive in us?
Yeah, I guess so. And I guess just, I mean, when did punk start? Punk started in the 70s when there was an awful...
Punk started in the fucking 50s with blues musicians.
Again, a rebellious... People fucked off with the government and the way the world is. It's always been a reaction to that, in my opinion. So as long as people are angry at what's going on around them, then they're going to want to listen to someone fucking screaming their head off about it. It's a feeling as well, isn't it? Like it's that feeling when the same feeling I get when I listen to White Privilege in the fucking van, terrified. That adrenaline that builds up inside of you, and that heat that like fucking arises in the back of your ears from like listening to something that gets you really fucking pumped up and really on edge. That's an endorphin releasing feeling. So
yeah, I mean, loud shouting music really. It's like "Stay With Me" by I've forgotten their name. "Stay with me, baby" is loud shouting music, really. Screaming Jay Hawkins. I think, it's that age-old thing where white people think they've invented something that's been around through all races and all genders for a long time. Subversiveness in music is, it's art. It's the only way we get to express. So yeah. It's like, it's really important because it's the most visceral form of expression, isn't it? Music, in a creative sense. I think you just can't replace it. Also, it's good music, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's lots of loud shouting music that isn't so popular because it's dog shit.
Yeah, true.
David Williams S1 says heart emoji. Crows need more recognition. They slap.
Fuck yeah.
You slap. You slap. You slap. You slap. Which version of Keep On Loving You do you prefer? The OG REO Speedwagon version, the REO Speedwagon version, or the superior version covered by the Donners? What, Ryan Wisniak? What kind of fucking politician are you? Putting some rhetorical shit at the end there, or the superior version? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit loaded, that.
To be honest, the REO Speedwagon is probably better because the singer manages to put like 16 different vowel sounds in one vowel, which I find quite impressive. What about you, James? I'm supposed to be asking you a question. REO Speedwagon or the Donners? Who'd win in a fight?
REO Speedwagon with just with all those fucking synths. Army of synthesizers.
Army of synths is always better than one synth as well. You're not going to win the synth war with one synth fire.
No.
Um,
Let's get back to venues. Come on. We're here for the venues, not for REO Speedwagon.
Well, I think the idea is that we are in ourselves right now housing lots of new ideas and conversation, which is the essence of an independent venue. So
True.
we can go back though. All right.
No, that's true. Sorry.
All right. Worst venue. I'm only joking. Oh yeah. All right. It was part of one of the other questions. I didn't either ask it or we didn't get onto it. No one cares. Which country has? Do you think Holland has the best audiences as well? Because I don't think they do. They've got great audiences, but they're not number one for me.
They aren't the craziest audiences.
Craziest audiences for me are not necessarily the best audiences.
Yeah, that's a good
because
point.
crazy is like, to me, as a care worker for adults with learning difficulties, that phrase means something negative because it's the unhinged nature of people. A crowd, an audience can turn into a mob real fucking quick. So I don't like crazy. I like passionate.
Passionate.
What would be your ideal audience?
Someone who holds me up when I'm crowd surfing. So when I jump in, I'm not just going straight to the floor.
Absolutely. And you're a tall man, so that would need more than me. Because I'm heavier than you probably, but I don't cover as long.
Crowd when I can touch the roof in the venue with my feet when I'm crowd surfing, so I'm like walking on the ceiling. That's a good one. But that's in the middle, and then on the outside you've got the people who are my favorite kind of people, who are the people that just have their eyes closed and they're just fucking feel it. That's my favorite. Because the craziness, sometimes the craziness in the middle is like, I love it and it's fun to watch, but it's very intense. So when you kind of look over and there's someone who's just got their fucking eyes closed, they don't care what you look like. It's just the sheer love of the volume of the music and the vibe in the room and sweat on the ceiling. Yeah, love that.
For me, it's equal parts passion, equal parts kind of, what's the word? Like a sense of community, I guess, that conscientious thing where everyone's going apeshit, but not in a way where they care. I guess that's what it is. They care and they show that they care, because showing you care is going apeshit, or it might be stood at the back, just nodding your head. But they're allowing each other to care. They're not just going, you know.
Yeah.
Mosh pits definitely have a place, and I think they're beautiful. But you know, the ones that care. Like for me, Portugal wins. Portuguese crowds are the one.
Nice.
Fucking.
We've never played in the hot European countries. We've done like all of like the north, but never got to like Spain, Italy, Portugal, unfortunately.
Spain and Italy are very different to Portuguese crowds.
Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't lump all the hot countries together, my man. Very different kettle of fish. Spanish.
I don't know, because we've not been there.
Spanish are fucking magic. They are magic, but they're batshit. They are not chill. They are extra. They're the definition of what extra means these days. Kids say extra, I think Spain. They are bloodthirsty motherfuckers.
Nice.
And Italians are great. Great.
Hell yeah.
There's no countries where I didn't like the audience, actually.
Yeah, I can't think of a single. I can't think of any gig where I've come off and been like, "Fuck me, that was awful." It's like, nah, it's always had. Generally, I think UK has to be like I guess my fave, but I don't know. It is tough.
The UK is your favourite country to play in?
No, because that's not true either.
Like
I mean, I think audience-wise it is. Definitely not for other reasons. But I think audience-wise, I'd probably say UK.
I always feel relief coming home because I'm completely understood.
Yeah.
Even like the inflection, the cultural inflection and my humor and stuff, they get it.
Yeah.
And also I know where I'm at, so I can be more like specific.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like, you know, some parts of other, like France in places is really tough, I find. It's a lot of aggressive, drunk, solitary men just being really difficult. That's the only time. Actually, no, Spain as well. I was a real asshole in Spain. I was a real asshole in France as well.
You've not experienced that in
You ever
France?
lost your shit at a gig? Like got angry?
Yes, where was it? I remember we were playing the Waiting Room in Stoke Newington, under the Three Crowns, tiny venue.
Yeah.
It was a Halloween gig. Everyone dressed up. We were all dressed as ladies. We're in a really long white dress with a long blonde wig.
I'd say you'd be more of a woman than a lady, if I'm honest.
And there was a fight. It was a free gig, so it was like people just coming in from upstairs, just coming in. And someone was starting a fight in the pit. And I remember just fucking getting really angry. I was like, no. And so I said, if you want to fight, get the fuck out of my gig. And like, actually went down and pushed them out of the room. And like, I've never done that before. And it was really like, yeah, I think that was quite a while ago. But I remember being like, this is super weird. It's like, no, don't fucking come fight at my gig. It's like, you can mosh my gig, but don't fight each other at my gig. It's fucking stupid. So remember, got them out, and then we carried on. And it was great. And everyone had a great gig then.
I wasn't as vigilant as you. I just lost my shit, tried to fight them.
Oh, really?
I was an asshole. It was me, you know. It's a responsibility having a microphone.
True.
Some guy threw a pint from the back of the room, and it was like 600 cap room.
Yeah.
Only about 300 people there, and he was right at the back. He launched his pint, and he missed Dev by an inch, and I was just fuck it. I was at the end of it. I just felt like a caged animal. You know, like if you tour long enough, and you have a few shows in a row where the crowd are quite hostile, it makes you feel like a caged animal. And like vulnerable in a bad way. I like being vulnerable at shows. It makes me feel invigorated. But this was like horrible. And this guy just threw a pint at the wrong show, man. I was just like, I then just said loads of horrible stuff, and I just was an asshole. I lowered myself to that prick's level.
Yeah, it is, because it's fucking annoying. Especially because it's if it's at your show, you're like, why the fuck are you doing that at my show? It's like, I know the people who are here, like they're here not for that kind of shit. It's like, don't do that fucking shit there. I think another one, the Black Heart in Camden.
Yeah.
It was like the first gig we ever sold out. It was fucking like, that was a great feeling. We were like, fucking this is going to be, it was a fucking great gig. It was awesome. But again, there was a fight at the back of the room. And I didn't quite clock what was happening until it was kind of too late and they'd already been taken out. But I just remember turning around and Lawrence, it was like when you had our old drummer Lawrence, who was very gruff, very fucking nuts Yorkshireman, was stood up and like at full attention, like ready to go. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, pointed, and it was like, and someone was getting dragged out. And like, I was like, oh, fuck. And I knew that Lawrence, if he'd been there sooner, he would have been in there fist fighting. But again, I'm like, thankfully it got dealt with by the wonderful bouncers and got quelled. But again, I'm just like, don't fucking fight at the show. It's like, who's trying to start a fight at like 150 cap show? What reason for? Yeah, assholes. Yeah.
Someone ripped my shirt at the Black Heart. That was my favourite shirt. Still my favourite shirt.
Me too. I've got a photo of my shirt getting ripped off my body at the Black Hat.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the same person. Shirt ripping fuck. Yeah, I love that shirt, man. It's a pajama shirt, I think.
Nice.
I think I didn't buy it I bought it for £200 in a vintage shop. No, I didn't. Aggressive. Before, I mean, how long have we been doing this? Nearly 2 hours. Can we end it on a positive?
Yes.
Rather than talk about horrible men ruining it for everyone else. Just as a thing for the audience. It's like, it's not up to us to sort out in a way, because we're intensely in a situation where we're emotional and not professionals. So if we do make the mistake of being an asshole, it's just because we're like everyone else. Like, we just want to have a good time. But it's really important that if you're at all treated unfairly, someone gets in your space, you're entitled to your own space. If someone's pushing you and they say it's a mosh pit, get over it. It's not. It's your space. Also, if someone touches you inappropriately, find someone that will either knock their fucking head off or tell security.
I was going to give a shout out to...
If a band does it with a microphone, it's dangerous. It can create a dangerous situation. So that's what security are there for. If there aren't security, then obviously a band person would do it. But it's like, it's really important that you feel that you're safe. So never feel that you have to not say. Just say immediately, and security should take the fucker out. Not in that sort of way. In that sort of way.
Yeah. Safe Gigs Women, great organisation, doing everything you just said. Really good. Shout out Safe Gigs Women.
And men as well. If you're feeling intimidated, the security are there to look after you as well.
Yeah.
Not like, hey, it's about the men as well, dude. But like, you know, like it's important that everyone feels safe.
100%.
Because it can be a shit time for people.
You know,
but I've never had it. I always stand at the back and nod my head. That's the guy. Unless it's the OCs. That's probably my favourite gig. Whenever people ask what my favourite gig was, that's a good thing to end it on.
Yeah.
My favourite gig, James, I've looked through the list. I'm going to not look through the list. I'm going to make this window as big as I can now because we're done. No distractions. There you go. My favourite gig was the OCs at Primavera Festival in the Apollo. It was like an ocean. The whole room, 600, 800 cap room, I don't know. But it just moved. Everyone there just moved.
Is that the venue they do like the after party, the after bit in? Yeah.
Fucking sick.
Yeah.
The OCs played, and like it was the first time I like moshed for more than like a bit, and it was just the best feeling. Sons played, and that was like the second best gig I've ever been to.
Nice.
So, that's mine, and it was because of the feeling of being part of this motion that didn't stop. And obviously, they're one of the best bands on the planet. So, that's mine. What's yours, James?
Again, it's always an interesting question, isn't it? But one that always springs to my head whenever I get asked is saw Nick Cave, Bad Seeds at the Apollo, which is just a fucking incredible venue anyway. And
the London one, not the Barcelona one.
Yes, sorry. And I just felt like I was the only person in the room. It was fucking so strange, just the feeling I got from watching that gig. Because he's just there, and you're like, he's just singing to me. He's not singing to anyone else in the room. And they had these like lights on poles. It was the most simple stage layout, but the most visually affecting, just incredible. And the set was perfect. And yeah. Nick Cave, I think it was like 2016? I don't know, some year. But it was fucking great.
Have you seen Grinder Man live?
No, never have. Sadly.
You got to. Go and watch them.
I will.
Holy fuck. I mean, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, incredible. But yeah, Grinder Man. Just as violent, but more violent.
Yeah.
I love it. That's magic. What a lovely thing to end on. Is probably everyone's favourite band in the world, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, James.
Thank
Who
you.
have you got next week?
Yeah, I've got to say something. I will be hosting next week. Hashtag IVW Take 5. And my guest will be the incredible Jenny Beth.
No way.
Jenny Beth, and of Savages, and of John and Jen, and of everything else incredible, thankfully, yeah. So very happy that she's going to be joining me. And also terrified because she is incredible and quite intimidating and very French. but I'm a lowly James Cox. But I'll do my best. It will be fine.
Yeah. Like, have you met her?
I've met her briefly a couple of times at gigs and stuff.
She was at our gig in London.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I actually weirdly sold merch for Savages in the Electric Ballroom many years ago.
oh,
So I was
sick.
selling her merch at the Electric Ballroom. Yeah, when they played there, which is quite funny.
I like it. What a nice.
Yeah, full circle.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks very much for your time, James. Sorry I was late.
No, thank you for having me, and it was lovely to chat to you.
Long live the independent venue.
Hell yeah.